The quality of our lives is directly related to the quality of our relationships. Most importantly, starting with the relationship you have with yourself.
Hi, my name is Giovanna Elias, and on this channel, I'm going to show you how the communication and connection you have with yourself and your inner world directly impact the relationships, the connection, and the success you have in your outer world, in every area of your life.
Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another week here on The Connection Code. My name is Giovanna Elias, and I am a human connection expert. And if you guys have been liking the videos I've been putting up so far, I ask that you click like. It's a huge help for the channel. Subscribe, ring the bell for weekly notifications. That way you get immediate notifications when I put up a new video. And leave comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys always. So without further ado, let's dive into this week's talk. The 4 reasons why you must communicate. Now, when I'm talking about communication, I really want to specify that I'm talking about effective, conscious, clear communication. The best kind we can ever have in order to build deep, meaningful connections with the people in our lives. So the first reason we must communicate is to break down barriers. And what this really means is to gain a greater understanding of the reality that the person or people we're communicating with have. What we really need to understand is that we all share different realities. We all have different stories of what we see the world as, and we have different filters and perspectives on the world. So when we can begin to break down these barriers, open up communication, share with each other, and really truly understand the other person's perspectives, their stories on life, the way they view the world, their filters. When we really gain an understanding for that, now we can begin to break down the barriers that we create, these invisible barriers between people, and now truly build deeper, stronger connections with the people in our lives. Breaking down barriers, for example, can look like learning someone else's language. When you learn someone else's language, you're really getting at the core of how someone thinks, how they feel, how they experience the world. And this is one of the best ways of creating very deep connection with someone. Another way of breaking down barriers is by having controversial conversations. For example, it could look like putting people with 2 very opposing views of the world in the same room. And this way, in dialoguing and communicating effectively, you can really start to break down barriers. The second reason is really about letting go of the shit you're holding on to. And what this really means is getting the closure that you need, finding the peace within yourself that you've been looking for the longest time. Have you ever felt that there's been some sort of secret or something you've been holding on to forever within yourself and you just never really shared it? It's actually about time that you communicate it and you share it in a safe space. For example, many women that have experienced rape, they hold on to the heaviness of those emotions, that experience, for the longest time without ever communicating it. Or even some conflict between family that you hold inside of you, you bottle up for the longest time, instead of just sharing with your family where you're coming from, what you feel, what your experiences have been over the years. This way, when you actually finally communicate, you open up about how you're feeling, you can relieve yourself of that stress, you can feel that much lighter within yourself, and ultimately, you tend to step towards connection with the people you shared it with in your life. The third reason we must communicate is because they don't know. This is all about awareness. And this is really about making the people in our lives aware of where our head is at and where our heart is at. That when we don't communicate how we're feeling or what our needs are or boundaries are, people can't know, and therefore they can't make changes according to what our needs are if we don't communicate with them. So if we want changes to be made in our lives, especially in the relationships that we have to let people in. We have to let them know. What does the classic saying say? To assume is to make an ass out of you and me. So just don't do it. Communicate and prevent all of those problems forever even needing to happen to begin with. So the fourth and arguably most important reason why we must communicate as human beings is for deep, meaningful human connection. And why would we do that? Well, studies have actually come to show over the years that meaningful human connection actually gives us a release of oxytocin in our body. And this is the very thing that makes us feel happy. It makes us feel loved and cared for and fulfilled. And so what not a better reason to communicate than to simply feel that connection and that release of oxytocin in our body that simply makes us feel the pleasure of love and care. The very thing, I would say, we all live for. So there you have it, folks. Those are the 4 reasons why we must communicate. Number 1, so that we can break down barriers and gain a greater sense of understanding amongst all of us as humans. Number 2, so we can finally let go of the shit that we're holding on to. Number 3, because the people in our lives may have no idea what it is that's going on in our head and heart. And number 4, to build those deep, meaningful human connections. That way we can get that rush of oxytocin and really feel that loving, fulfilling feeling in our lives. If you like today's video, I ask that you click like. It really helps the channel. Spread it on to your friends who you feel that this could help. Leave comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Ring the bell for more notifications. That way you'll know when I put up weekly videos. And subscribe to the channel. Always a pleasure being with you guys here on The Connection Code. My name is Giovanna Elias, and I am a human connection expert.